Hi, I'm Tom Gately in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thanks for taking the time to view my Indiegogo presentation. My project is a novel I've written entitled The Camelot Coup, the overthrow our government tried to hide. It is a murder mystery full of espionage, political intrigue, and suspense. The overthrow that I refer to in the subtitle happened in 1963 with the assassination of President John Kennedy. After his murder, federal investigators and political officials tried to pass it off as the work of a crazed lone gunman whose motives for shooting the president were unclear. They quickly concluded that the shots were fired by a guy with a rifle from a sixth-floor window in the building that he worked in. According to their version, the alleged assassin, Lee Oswald, waited for the president's limousine to pass by the building before taking 3 shots. A film of the assassination called the Zapruder film, named after the man who shot the film, recorded the event, and it clearly shows that there are more than 3 shots. Eyewitnesses to the event reported more than 3 shots, in some cases as many as 6. Federal investigators, led by the FBI, ignored all that evidence and pinned the killing on one man. There are several problems with their story. First off, their alleged assassin, Lee Oswald, was seen by co-workers to be several floors below when just before the shots rang out, and after witnesses in the plaza saw a man with a rifle in that same 6th-floor window. Second, from the time of the first shot to the last took roughly 6 seconds, and in that amount of time, with the cheap rifle Lee supposedly used to shoot the president, he would have been lucky to get off 3 shots, let alone more than that. And finally, evidence in the film clearly shows the president being struck in the head by a bullet that came from in front of him, snapping his head backwards. A half hour after the assassination, a Dallas police officer was executed when he stopped to question a man out of place in a nearby neighborhood, possibly the alleged assassin. Federal investigators pinned that murder on Oswald as well, explaining it was part of his escape. 2 problems with that story. Number 1, Lee could not have been physically present at the time the police officer was murdered, and eyewitnesses to the event described the killer's appearance in a way that clearly exonerated Oswald. So what did federal investigators do? They delayed the time of the officer's murder so that Oswald could have made it on time, and refused to interview witnesses who described the killer's appearance in ways that differed from Oswald. These are some of the reasons these 2 murders remain controversial after over 50 years. From the moment these events occurred, federal investigators and political officials tampered with evidence and manipulated witnesses to fit their template. Why would they go to so much trouble? Why weren't they in search of the truth? Because members of the government were part of the conspiracy to assassinate President Kennedy and to frame an innocent man to hide the true killers. Was it just a coincidence that 2 days after President Kennedy was killed, the alleged assassin Lee Oswald was also murdered, thereby preventing him from making any more public statements or securing legal representation to prove his statements that he had not committed any acts of violence that day and that he was a patsy? Every November, the anniversary month of President Kennedy's death, new books are released about the murder, most presenting themselves as assassination experts or accusing this person or that of being behind the killing. So why would I write a book in an already crowded field? Because I got tired of the lies and the injustice surrounding those events. While cutting through their deception, I also wanted to add a voice to the innocent American citizens, men and women who witnessed the assassination or subsequent murder of a Dallas police officer, who themselves became targets because their version of events differed markedly from the story local and federal investigators were trying to manufacture. A strong departure from the story our government and the major media would have us believe. The Camelot Coup is a daring and intricately woven novel using years of research to captivate the reader in a story of how treacherous and powerful men plotted to overthrow President John Kennedy in a murderous coup. To stand alone in the crowd, I chose the unique approach of telling a chilling murder spy mystery told through the lives of the historical figures that shaped those events, including the alleged assassin, Lee Oswald. Even readers who have no interest in the history behind this event will be intrigued by this chilling tale of how the gods of business and politics threaten the president and our government. As the last line in my book's description states, it is a coup the government tried to hide, but the ghosts of 3 men killed on the streets of Dallas will not rest while the lawless go free. I have released the Camelot Coup as an ebook on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and had a book proof printed to see what the book would actually look like. Here is the book. It's a 6x9 format paperback with a laminated cover. It is 407 pages long, and the cover art was designed by my daughter, and is a picture of the White House with a gunshot blood splatter over the top of it. On the side is the binding, and of course I have written here first proof, and it's a really good thing I had it done because I found several mistakes in the book that I've since corrected. And then on the back of the book is a description of the story and the ISBN number that I needed to buy for the book. It took me 2 years to write the book, one to complete the first draft of the manuscript, and another year cutting out the mistakes and honing it into a well-written story. I've invested a fair amount of money into this project already, and I need your help to accomplish 3 goals. The process of having a major publishing house buy the rights to this book has taken months, and in fact may take years. But we clever Americans have never been that good at waiting around for our dreams to come true, so I've decided to aggressively market this book myself. The first goal is to do an initial book printing of 250 books that can be sold either through my website or through the major book retailers. The cost of that first run is roughly $1,900. My second goal is to produce an audio version of the book. A growing sector of the population enjoys listening to a book more than reading it. And I want to produce an audio version of the book that can be downloaded to any device. I have the recording studio and the book reader lined up, and they are in fact in studio recording the book as we speak. The cost for that end of the project is roughly $2,500. And finally, the most expensive goal I wish to accomplish is to produce the publicity to generate sales. I intend to use the money to continue the advertising campaign and fund additional printings of the book. Again, many thanks for your interest in my project and for any help that you can give. I'll keep you posted on the progress of the funding campaign and on completion of my 3 goals. Until then, best of luck to you and your families.
The Camelot Coup by Tom Gately. Copyright 2013 by Ashley Gately. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form or by any electronic or mechanical means, including information storage and retrieval systems, without permission in writing from the copyright owner, except by a reviewer who may quote brief passages in a review. Publisher, AAG Graphics. Book printer, Mira Publishing, Chesterfield, Missouri. Audio book reader, Harry Melas. Recording studio, Garden Recording, Lockport, New York. To my parents, Richard and Dorothy, and to Ashley Allison, what wonderful people I've been lucky enough to fill my heart with. And now, the Camelot Coup.